Amidst the COVID-19 outbreak, everyday life has changed and will continue to change for most people. That is according to Bartlett, Griffin, and Thompson, 2020. The emergence of coronavirus or COVID-19 and its spread across Asia, Europe, United States of America, and parts of Africa led to many countries implementing partial and complete lockdowns as part of the many solutions in curbing the pandemic. That is according to Centema 2020. From this situation, educational countermeasures are taken to continue educating the students despite the COVID-19 predicaments. That is according to Tokero 2020. Hence, this study intends to explore the struggles and successes of schools in reopening of classes across the world through meta-synthesis. The theoretical underpinnings of this study, first is the adaptive learning environment model that says educational programs should design to meet the diverse social and academic needs of students in regular classes. Second, the social adaptation theory that says adjustment of individual and group behavior need to conform with the prevailing system of norms and values in a given society, class, or social group. Social adaptation occurs in the process of socialization and also with the aid of mechanisms of social control, which include social pressure and state regulation. Next is the technology readiness. Technology readiness refers to people's propensity to embrace and use new technologies to accomplishing goals in home, life, or at work. And also, Albert Bandura's social cognitive theory that emphasizes how cognitive, behavioral, personal, and environmental factors interact to determine motivation and behavior of a person. Lastly, the resilience framework for human development theory. The term resilience has been used to label three different types of phenomena. First is the individuals who have experienced traumatic events but have been able to recover well. Next, persons who belong to high-risk groups but who have more favorable outcomes than expected. Next, and last, person who show positive adaptation despite life stressors. That is according to Sagaris and Welch Brewer 2016. Central question of this study is what are the articulated struggles and successes of reopening of classes amidst COVID-19 pandemic. The methodology used in this study is a meta-synthesis. The meta-synthesis was inspired by thematic synthesis described by Ring, Ritchie, Mandava, and Jepson 2011. It intends to identify recurring themes, to surface themes and draw conclusion. That is according to Sexy, Hanskar, and Ellingsen 2018. Findings of this study is presented in a dendrogram wherein it is structured according to the preconceived codes, that is struggles and successes. So in terms of struggles, we have common theme. It surface common themes like immediate action in terms of school closure, diverse reactions such as panic and fear, while in successes, we have also immediate action but more on safety guidelines and support. Also, we have creative solutions, acceptance and technology adaptation. Also, it is evident that across the world, they agree that there is an opening or reopening of classes despite of pandemic. Also, it shows there is transformative pedagogy, and then the precautionary measure. In terms of struggle, factors that are affected in this theme or category, it shows that teachers are affected. It shows that not all are technologically savvy, or there is no gadget or no budget for the internet. They are still adjusting to the scenario. In terms of students, there is low score in national examination due to immediate or not anticipated closure of schools. And also parents, it shows in the paper that parents are hesitant or they have feared for reopening of classes. And then in terms of curriculum, it shows that because of the pandemic and time allowance given by the authorities, it shows that the content is lesser than the usual. And then there is also evidence of curriculum compacting. In terms of strategy, because of the scenario, the school use online classes or remote learning. So there is an evidence of less hands-on activities. Also, in terms of technical, technology, there is no internet. Some countries have no internet connection or low internet connection. In terms of teaching modality, there is a transition between face-to-face and remote learning, and the stakeholders still adjusting to the scenario. Also, in terms of environment, so now they are now more on remote learning or less interaction. So that is in terms of struggles. In terms of successes, also, it surfaced that teaching modality is a factor in successes. It shows that some countries use multimodal strategies such as online. In online, they use synchronous and then the asynchronous. Also, some use blended, and some countries use face-to-face but with reorganization of classroom and with less students. In terms of student adaptation, it shows also that the students are coping in the system or the scenario, while in terms of curriculum, there is an evident that there is a sudden converting teaching and learning materials into a digital format. Also, there is a rapid curriculum development and restructuring and modified subject offerings. In terms of teachers' adaptation, some teachers adapt or create a group for easy access of repositories of learning materials. Also, it shows that through trainings and seminars, teachers are being resilient on the scenario. Also, it shows there is a collaboration and also upscaling of teachers' know-how on the use of technology-based classroom. Also, teaching strategy and learning materials are also evident. It shows some countries use radio or they intensify radio and TV instruction. Also, there is a country that they evenly use hands-on laboratory at home for the science subjects. And then some use modular and some use online learning. So, in terms of technology adaptation and improvement, it shows that improve and upgrading internet services are a way of support of the government or some business entities. Also, in terms of environment, there is a reorganization of classroom and home-based learning, or there is a virtual classroom. Aside from dendrogram, I also use the heat map analysis to see which countries or which country are adapting or affected by the scenario. So, as you can see, based on my coding, so these are the countries revealed in the journal articles. So, these are, I categorize it as America, Europe A, Europe B, Asian E, Asian B, and Africa. So, I code it as blue, Australia, yellow, China, Korea, as green, Pakistan, Philippines, Nepal, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Zambia, Bangladesh as Asian B, then Africa as for Zambia. Okay. So as you can see here, affected COVID-19 affects all countries or across the world, regardless of your social status or economic status, regardless of your ranking, regardless of the ranking of your country, regardless of your situation of your country, most countries are affected. It's only differ on the extent on how they are affected, extent on how they adjust, extent how they address the scenario or the phenomenon. Highlighted the common themes that surface in the analysis. In terms of struggles of reopening of classes, there is an immediate action such as school closure, diverse reactions such as panic and fear, while successes are as immediate action for safety, guidelines, and support. Also, creative solutions are seen, acceptance and technology adaptation, and the clamor of reopening of classes are there. Transformative pedagogy is one of the most common action across the world, and then highlighted is the precautionary measure. The essence of this study, based on the finding, based on the theme surface, it only shown that education across the world is vital and need not to be neglected. It should be in continuous in operation, for it can affect the next generation. As one specific instance, that there is a certain school that due to pandemic, the learning of the students are lesser, and this caused them to be in low score in their national achievement test. Secondly, though the data is only as the tip of an iceberg, still, the findings evidently prove that human being can be adaptable and resilient to various diverse and challenging situations. Only structured mechanism and support should be taken in consideration to make as guide to those who are in command and affected of this phenomenon.